Well, I woke up this morning. I've been streaming this like Rust event called Rust Kingdoms. A lot of the big stream, a lot of the biggest streamers in the world, and me, right? So I've been staying up really late playing that on Twitch, and I woke up, kind of, when you stay up really late, you wake up in this Vietnam kind of state, like, I snap in. I'm in the jungle. There's booby traps everywhere. We're losing the war, right? Like all of that going on. I wake up, terrible sleep. And now all of a sudden I get tagged in something 6 times, right? And I know when I get tagged in something that many times in such short a window, it's something that I'm so obviously going to end up walking straight from my bedroom into this room and start talking about it. So I take a deep breath in through my nose, out through my mouth, and I click on whatever it is that I've been tagged in. And boy, it did not disappoint, because this is insane. Okay, but I think people are actually hitting this from the wrong direction. This is obviously a crazy story, but I think people are coming at it from, I think people are coming at it from the wrong direction. You'll see what I mean. But what this has to do with is a referee, particularly a referee in the Premier League, okay, who has basically been caught on video saying stuff that you just can't say. Right? Saying stuff that you just cannot say. As a referee that is being trusted with the impartial application of the rules to matches that determine the mental sanity of millions of people, to matches that determine the flow of hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes, right? Like you just can't be seen as anything other than a paragon of virtue, as a paragon of impartiality. And in this video does it in. And look, I won't consider myself an expert, right, when it comes to intoxication, but I believe that in watching this video, you will notice that the referee, whose name is David Coote, I believe the referee here is absolutely blasted. I think this man he's swimming in the ocean, out to sea in a river of Guinness, right? Like he which is fine, right? I'm not saying that referees shouldn't get tanked. If a referee wants to get tanked on their own time, do that in a socially responsible way. Just don't make this video. Now, there are 2 videos. This is the start of the first one. This is the friend, and this is Senor David Coote. And yeah, the first time I saw this, it does kind of look like those To Catch a Predator videos that have been going around, right? So when I saw this with the sound off, I was like, no way. But that was that. It wasn't that, right? It was just a drunk guy talking about how he hates some of his coworkers. Without further ado,
so what did you think of the Liverpool game earlier when you were 4th official?
Liverpool was shit.
What do you think of Jurgen Klopp?
Cunt, absolutely.
oh no! Oh, you just can't say it, David. You can't say it. You can't say it, because everybody's gonna misconstrue this from this point on, right? You just can't. You cannot do this. You cannot look into the eyeballs, into the soul of a camera, and say these words if you are a Premier League referee. You just can't. The way this has to work, right, is the refs have to be unknowns. The only thing you should be known for as a referee is having a stern personality, right? I'm thinking of the bald ref from Italy that, would just level people with his eyes. That is the only reputation you can have. Other than that, referees have to be virtually anonymous. They have to be just another guy, right? They can't have any public-facing anything, right? They can't make a YouTube channel like this where they pass opinions on everybody, because even if they believe to the best of their ability that they're being impartial, right? You're going to destroy the perception of impartiality, like from what anybody who's a fan of any of the teams I've talked about, whether it be Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, right? Trying to think of any like Chelsea, all these teams that we've talked about because they demand talking about. Would you let me referee a game for any of those teams just because of that conversation we've had? No, I'm not getting paid to rig a match against any of those teams. I don't actually have a bias against any of those teams. At least explicitly, maybe implicitly, subconsciously, somewhere deep down, I have some Real Madrid related childhood trauma or some, Barcelona related childhood trauma that I can't work through. But you wouldn't let me referee one of those games if you're a fan of those teams, because you could bring up a whole ass video of me saying that this team's cooked and they're doing this and they're doing that, and I don't like Florentino Perez, right? And that's what this is. That's what this is. The moment I saw this, I knew exactly where all the conversations were going to go. You're going to get a giant group of Liverpool fans that are saying, see, the entire Premier League is rigged against us, which is also not what that's not what this is. What this is a human being that has human being thoughts, right? If you ever thought for a second that referees didn't actually have opinions of the players and coaches of the matches that they're refereeing, then you're just like deluding yourself. Right? They obviously have opinions. And clearly David Coote thinks Jurgen Klopp is a cunt. And he finds Liverpool really annoying. Right? The problem comes, right? Now you can't make referees that aren't human. You can't make referees that work with people and don't form an opinion about them. Right? But the problem comes when that becomes public knowledge. It just cannot become public knowledge. It can't. It cannot happen, because then that undermines the trust of everything. Then you can look at everything that David Coote does from now until the end of time and say, well, he just doesn't like Liverpool. He finds them annoying. Even if Jurgen Klopp's not even there anymore, you can go, well, he said that they were terrible for that particular game, right? But you can't act like a referee doesn't go home to their loved ones and go, tough day today, Mourinho is really up my ass. I just can't stand that guy sometimes. I mean, that's what this is. Right? This is like letting off steam with your friends, except it's now on video, and now your career is over. But we're not done here.
What would you say? Why would you say that Jurgen Klopp was a cunt?
Aside from having a right pop at me when I ref them against Burnley in lockdown, then he accused me of lying, and then just had a right fucking pop at me. And I've got no interest in speaking to someone who's fucking arrogant.
Okay, I find some irony in this, right? Like, you're the referee of these big important matches, matches that Liverpool's playing in, and the manager has a pop at you, which I'm going to be on, like, in the same way that I'm talking about Garnacho in the last video that I made, or one of the videos I made yesterday, where, like, if you were a player for Manchester United, people are going to give you shit. Right? Some of the shit they give you is obviously way over the line, but people are going to give you shit. And the same's with referees, right? These people have their families threatened and stuff. All that shit's over the line. But if you are a referee, you're going to make a call that somebody disagrees with. They're going to have a right pop at you every once in a while. And then he says, well, I don't want to interact with somebody that I find arrogant. Something about this, maybe it's just the posh way that he's talking, makes David Coote feel super arrogant to me, right? Like, I'm watching this and I'm like, this is the pot calling the kettle black here. If he thinks Jurgen Klopp is arrogant, he's like, well, he had the audacity to question my decisions on 2 occasions, and I just have no interest in dealing with somebody that is so arrogant, it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, that's, maybe it's just me being overly American here, but that is the way that I felt that entire conversation went. And I'm like, is there irony here? Like, I was kind of hoping when I started this video that he had a much better reason for thinking that Jurgen Klopp sucked than he actually did. Basically, he's just saying Jurgen Klopp kind of yelled at him a couple times and called him a liar. I feel like a lot of managers from Antonio Conte to Jose Mourinho have said way worse things to referees that they actually ended up respecting, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like David's internalized this a little more than maybe you should as a referee, and maybe that's why it's come out in this video.
So I do my best not to speak to him. Milner's all right. I get on with
James Milner.
That's where you can really see that this dude is definitely tanked, right? Where you just, like, you can follow the... Well, Milner's all right. He's a solid guy.
Come with James Milner.
You can see me there with mask on.
Yeah. Mask on, obviously.
Yeah. COVID, got to be done. Social distancing, right? We're 2 meters apart.
We have to social distance.
Yeah. So, but oh my god, German can't fuck me.
Long story short, Jurgen Klopp's a cunt.
Yeah, okay, and then we've got this dude summarizing, right, which is just classic drunk behavior. But it feels like there was a little bit of remorse once he realized that this has been recorded and sent to this guy's friends or whatever, because then this video was also sent a little later.
Like, just to be clear, that fucking last video can't go anywhere. Seriously.
He's a Premier League referee. Let's not fucking ruin his career. Like, let's face it, we're good blokes, but we can't ruin a bloke's career. Like, we're not that bad. Also, he's a fucking legend.
So, yeah.
Well, one of them wasn't that good of a bloke. Well, one of them wasn't that good of a bloke because now the video is out and it is going to ruin his career, as it should. I think both things can be true. The moment something like this drops, this guy should never referee a Premier League match again. I think as long as he's refereeing matches that Liverpool's not a part of, that's fine, but just yeet him down to League Two and don't put him on Carabao Cup or what, whatever. Right? Like, this guy should never referee a Premier League match again. And it also is, but it is also not evidence of some wide-ranging corruption. This is just evidence of people working together and having opinions on other people. The problem is when those opinions become public, then it just fucks everything up, right? Like, then everything gets all messed up. So pump the brakes on the broad conspiracy. This guy and Jurgen Klopp just do not get along. Now it's public, and we'll probably never see him again. Like, the Puigdemont is just going to put a bag over his head, and then he's gone forever.